Hi, it's Elizabeth here. So it's the 2nd of November and today I fly out to Germany on Lufthansa flight 1111. If you followed any of my posts, I've had several rooms that are 111 and all these, fun synchronistic play with angel numbers. But I'm making this video because I guess it's like a little vlog or a diary. They're kind of reminders to myself, so if I ever get lost or stuck back in time, once I re-enter the real world, I just want to have this message for me to watch in the future if I tend to lose my way, or if you are in some form of healing in your life, maybe this video will help you. Or if you have done your own pilgrimage but it's been years or months and you have forgot some of the lessons and things and the reflections that you've learned upon, maybe this video will help you bring back to kind of the core of your pilgrimage. So I've done these spiritual journeys enough times in my life that you learn a lot of lessons, and somewhere along the way you readjust back to normal life and you tend to kind of forget some things, or you tend to lose touch with yourself or with your values. So I just kind of made a little list here of some things I wanted to talk about. So the St. James way, it is a way, right? It is a way to yourself. Obviously we can thank the Apostle St. James for this opportunity for him to give up, or for him to have his life taken, for us to be able to find things that we've taken for granted, or to find appreciation back in our life. But the first thing I want to talk about is just don't lose your core values. I am very different from a lot of people. I think in modern society I am an old soul, and I do take spirituality very seriously, but I don't take it so seriously to where it rules my life. I really do believe in balance. So I just want to remind myself not to lose the core values, because as the Pacific Northwest changes and the Western modern world changes, and so does just the West Coast in general, with the consumption of marijuana, which leads to other drugs, the polyamory, the open marriages and things like that. I've never dabbled in that stuff. That's not for me, but it's very easy to be attracted to somebody, and maybe they do drugs or they drink every day and things like that, and that type of stuff doesn't really align with my core values of what I want in my life. So I've done a lot of reflection in terms of I want my life to have these certain overall categories, like honesty, trust, loyalty, love, healthiness. So health is really important to me. It's part of the reason why I did this journey, and I just you just don't want to fall into the trap of being so infatuated by somebody or something that you tend to lose the connection to your own core values. So don't lose your core values, especially because now that I've connected more of the Christian roots, it is very grounding for me, and I guess that is kind of important to have somebody that shares maybe some similar bigger values in life. I just want to talk about or to remind myself that never forget that life is a journey, that it's not a destination. This is something that you've already known for years, not only from reading a lot of spiritual texts, but from doing the whole yoga stuff in India 22. And the way of St. James is exactly that. I mean, obviously we're all flocking and coming here to Santiago, but it is a journey. It's a journey to ourself. It's a journey to the connection of the land, to the nature, to the culture, the people, and the people you meet along the way. And I've talked about this in so many of my other videos and Facebook posts that, you have a lot of momentary mates on the way of St. James. And even if you do spend 24 hours with people for the 14 days or the 30 days that you're walking, that is very momentary, unless you end up like meeting the love of your life and marrying them. It's like that is momentary, although you're spending all that time with people. So you have to just really cherish what life and the Camino gives you along the way, because it's really important. I do believe in manifestation, but I also believe in free will, and I do think that the divine brings people together, but it's our free will to continue that connection. And a lot of times we don't appreciate that connection, or we don't stay connected because of certain things like fear, or you get busy, we just get, wrapped up in our own stuff along the way. So I think because of moving abroad several times, that these are the things that I've been able to tend to appreciate more, is just really valuing who enters my life. The next thing I want to remind myself is just don't lose hope. I think that's the biggest root of the Christian faith, or any form of spirituality, is that you can't lose hope. Life is not easy nowadays, and I think we're exposed to so many things and so many people. And one example being in the dating world with like online dating, that I've never done it, but it's really easy to be like, this is the one, or this is my future, and it might not be, because we're exposed to so many things and people, and we just have to have lower expectations. But I just think life without hope or without faith is very hollow. And I think there are a lot of lessons along the way, and a lot of barriers and roadblocks in life that God will give you, that you have to learn how to overcome. And I think life will continue to send you the same type of lesson or the same type of crappy people in your life until you learn how to actually deal with them, or deal with something within yourself. Trust, but be cautious. This is something that I want to remind myself, that I've heard from tons of people from around the world, but even my crazy Spanish pilgrim friend Danny from Madrid, he just said the same thing. Like, I have a lot of friends in Seattle, some of them who are Christian, who said they don't trust anybody. And it makes sense, because Seattle, I don't know, people are just losing their soul in that city, and it's so consumptive in so many ways of like the drug, sex, alcohol, party lifestyle, the thing with like young millennials having so much money that, it's really easy to like do a bunch of things that are very like exciting and don't really have connection to moral values. But the thing is, you can't go through life not trusting people, but you do have to be cautious. And there is that verse in the Bible, my friend in Seattle reminded me of it all the time, is you have to go through life innocent like a dove, but wise like a serpent. And, now being 33, it's, I'm not a child or a baby, and it's really smart to be cautious and skeptical, but not necessarily blindly jump into things, or to move through life not trusting anybody. Because if you move through life not trusting anybody, you're just going to be spinning the same wheels of a lot of the same stuff. The next thing I want to remind myself is don't forget the feelings of the walk. So, I had this a lot with yoga in India 11 years ago, and the thing is, there are so many elated moments during that walk, whether you appreciate and see the beauty in a lot of the small things, and beauty is inspirational. And I think that's why the walk is so amazing for a lot of people, is because they don't understand that beauty is very inspirational. This is why people love coming to Europe and looking at this beautiful cathedral. It's because it's like astonishing to think like people created this with their hands, with no machines. And fine art is the same way. It's these beautiful paintings that are very inspirational. And so I just, whether it's an old little Roman fountain, or if it's the little butterflies, the two butterflies that were just dancing in the air around, some of the flowers and buildings, I just don't want to forget those moments. Or just even a simple moment of like a little sheep having curiosity and coming up to you, and you petting it on the nose. Those are just so many simple, amazing moments in life that are very endearing. And the last thing I want to remind myself is that to love your choices of life, and to continue to value your sense of balance. So I really, really do believe in balance. I think it's like the scales of justice. Things have to be balanced on the right or the left. If you take 2 pitchers of water and you keep dumping water into each end of the spectrum, that just becomes very extreme. And America is an extreme country, and Americans are an extreme America is an extreme culture, and Americans are extreme in a lot of different ways. It's like, if you run a marathon, then it's like you go from like couch to marathon. Or I know somebody who trained for this event, they did nothing. They had no form of exercise, and they went to walk this pilgrimage, and they went from couch to walking like 20 kilometers in one day. I'm like, maybe a 5K would have been a good place to start. It's like, it's this sense of like balance or common sense that we tend to lose, and I really do value balance. I think anytime I've lived my life in extremism, it's led to being very imbalanced. You know, it's like, you know, people have like ripped on me for, you know, I'm vegan vegetarian, especially traveling vegetarianism, especially in Europe, is a lot easier. You know, it's like I can't go through this entire trip of walking 20 to 24 kilometers a day eating just bread, fruit, and salad. You know what I mean? It's like you need a little substance. Everyone's body is different, but it's like to judge me because I'm not being vegan the entire time is absolutely ridiculous. And so it's like, you know what, that's my life choice. I'm not eating animals, but if I have to eat you know, some dairy momentarily on the road, it's completely fine. So even when I was younger, I just wanted to make my parents proud. So I think that's one of the things that I've learned to try to do in my life is just to love my choices, but also to do things that would make my parents proud, which is why I've never dabbled in the dark side of life, because it's like I was raised better than that. Maybe I just have a stronger connection to my moral compass. So I'm gonna move here because people are so bloody loud. Anyways, that was my little video reminder to myself on some of the things that I've learned on the Camino. My friend from Italy posted a great picture. I wonder where she got it. I'm gonna have to message her because she posted this picture of kind of the spiritual path of the Camino, which is like you go through the walk and then you're connecting to your soul and you have moments of reflection and things like that. And that's very true. So anyways, thank you for listening. If you have any kind of questions or comments or anything, definitely feel free to leave them. And maybe this little bit of advice that I'm giving myself as a reminder in the future will be beneficial for you in your life for whatever you're going through. All right, thank you. Bye.